What is up guys, and welcome back to another Classic WoW video. So a couple of days ago I made a video about fresh Classic servers for Classic WoW, as we suddenly got a Phase 1 build appearing on the Classic Era public test realm, highly indicating a new server or a new fresh server coming for Classic WoW. We also had a survey sent out by Blizzard a couple of months ago regarding changes that we would like to see in an upcoming fresh start server for Classic WoW, showing that they were indeed thinking about it, and this popping up on the Classic Era PTR is another huge indicator of fresh start servers for Classic WoW. Now, nothing is confirmed yet, but it's pretty much confirmed, as there is a 99.999 times infinity chance of new fresh servers coming out. The only question is when are they coming, and based on Phase 1 being tested again on the PTR, I think it's fair to say that they are coming out sooner rather than later. So with that being said, I want to make a video talking about my primary concerns for fresh servers in Classic WoW, and things that I really think Blizzard needs to adjust or fix before even considering adding a fresh start server. Now, before I talk about my concerns, I also want you guys to list your concerns in the comments down below, because my concerns are highly dependent on how I choose to play the game, so you guys might have entirely different opinions than I do on the subject, so feel free to let me know in the comments. Concern number 1 is mage boosting. This is a major concern for me for several reasons, but I think the two biggest reasons is the fact that if mages continue being as strong in a fresh server environment as they were in Classic WoW, everyone that cares about gold making is almost forced to level a mage, and a lot of those people will also feel forced to level a mage as their first character, because of how strong they are early on, being able to farm 50 to 100 raw gold per hour inside instances, then add the boosting element to it down the line, and they are literal gold making machines. The second point is that mage boosting straight up kills the vanilla feeling, at least for me, because when I think of vanilla I think of a thriving world where people are out in the open world doing quests, grouping up to do dungeons together, killing elites for group quests in the open world, and mage boosting straight up ruins literally every part of that. With mage boosting available, and being such a meta way to level up your character, it invalidates so much of the leveling process in terms of questing, which makes the old world feels less alive, because everyone is AFK inside the dungeons, instead of being outside questing and socializing. I also really enjoy actually doing the dungeons of Classic WoW normally, and the boosting meta makes it so much more difficult to find people to do normal dungeons with, because once again a huge chunk of people that are leveling are spending their time AFK inside dungeons getting boosted. Mage boosting is also bad for the economy of the game, and it's also bad for the game itself, as it makes the game feel less inviting to new players, and it also makes it feel less alive, because you see way less people out in the open world, outside in the open world, and on top of all of this, I just don't think it's natural that one class can literally pull 100 mobs or hundreds of mobs. I mean, there is a 200 plus mob pull in Maraudon, and mages can pull all of those mobs and solo them, which I just don't think is fair to any other class, as it creates a power barrier between the classes, where mages literally feel like the biggest, most badass shark in the ocean, where any other class feel like the world's smallest fish in that same ocean. Now, how would this be fixed, you ask? Well, I've come up with a couple of solutions. I'm not sure which one is the best one, but let's give it a shot. Solution number 1 is that you can remove the magical resistance talent and the clear casting talent on the arcane side. Many of these mage boosts in Classic WoW rely on either one of these talents, usually the magical resistance talent, which gives you back mana every time you resist a spell, which is why mages boosting Maraudon usually stack nature resistance gear, and mages boosting Scarlet Monastery usually stacked frost resistance gear. Now, even without any resistance, mages could use the clear casting talent to simply fish for clear casts, and then use a max rank Blizzard, so in order to fix the situation, Blizzard would have to remove both those talents. Solution number 2 is that even with both those talents removed, mages could stack enough spirit and or use mana potions to regain their mana over time, to the point where they would still be able to perform these boosts, in which case I would recommend another solution. If 25 or more mobs are pulled together in one pull, their damage taken is reduced by 99%. This could basically be looked at like a Mythic plus affix, but the way it would work is that whenever 25 mobs pulled in one pull stand within close range of each other, they take 99% less damage, making them pretty much unkillable. By having a number as huge as 25, this would still allow for some AoE pulls inside actual dungeons and raids, but it would also limit people seeking to exploit pulling more than 25 mobs, and it would straight up ruin mage boosting for good. At this point, I also expect this video to have been disliked by every mage main out there, as I am doing what I can to ruin your goals of becoming millionaires by boosting. Now, my second concern with fresh Classic servers in Classic WoW is a concern that I've had since Classic WoW itself, and I've been very vocal about it through Classic WoW and Classic TBC, and I'm even more concerned about it in a fresh start environment for Classic WoW, and that is botting. I'm even more concerned about this for Fresh Classic than I have been for Classic WoW and Classic TBC, simply because I see how little Blizzard is doing to even try to combat botting so far in Classic. It's absolutely ridiculous, and I've seen private servers run by literal donkeys being better at stopping botting behavior. And at this point, it's not because they don't know how bad botting is, and it's not because they don't care, because I'm sure they do, but they don't care enough to stop it, because they are making profit. At this point, I've made a collective 8 videos on botting so far, 4 in Classic WoW and 4 in Classic TBC, exposing bots inside specific dungeons, and also exposing bots in the open world, and in Classic WoW I also made a video on how bots operated to farm Black Lotus, and I'm not the only one. Willy also made videos on botting, Asmongold made videos on botting, or reacted to videos regarding botting, both of them getting hundreds of thousands of views. Reddit posts were made with thousands and tens of thousands of upvotes, and after a huge public outcry, we finally saw a huge ban wave for bots, but we didn't really see much after that. And for TBC Classic, I've been keeping a close eye on bot names that I have personally reported and shown in my videos, and they are still not banned, despite me exposing them and reporting them almost 2 months ago. At this point, I've spoken to several ex-bot developers about why this hasn't been fixed, and the only answer that I can find is that Blizzard does not want it to be fixed. Several of these ex-bot developers have offered to help Blizzard fix it for free, and they've been rejected, and if Blizzard wanted to fix it, they could have. They are a multi-billion-dollar company, not a small indie dev studio, regardless of the multi-dollar company meme. So why hasn't this been fixed? Well, it's because of the financial incentive. They keep bots around and they can ban them in smaller waves. These bots come back, and especially for TBC Classic, they pay for that juicy level 58 boost, which provides cash straight into Blizzard's pocket. Blizzard lets them farm enough gold and sell it to make a small profit, then they ban them, then they rinse and repeat. One bot buying the boost and getting banned, then buying a new boost on a new account, generates the same revenue as one player playing the game for an entire year, and this bot can generate that revenue in 1 or 2 days. On top of all of this, if they ignore the botting problem until they release the WoW token into Classic WoW, they can claim the WoW token is implemented to stop botting, which is another justification for adding the WoW token, which again is a financial incentive for Blizzard not to fix botting until they actually implement the WoW token, because the only way people will be okay with the addition of the WoW token would be that it will either stop botting or at least slow it down. So those are my 2 major concerns about Fresh Classic WoW. Mage boosting I think can easily be fixed, and this one I have high hopes for. Botting can also be fixed and stopped, but the question is, will they do it this time? I do not really have any high hopes for this one based on what happened with Classic WoW and TBC Classic, and that really makes me sad, because I'm incredibly hyped for Fresh Classic. I just want it to be bot free. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up to help push it into the algorithm, and for more Classic WoW content, make sure you subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.